Kyle Black, welcome back, mate. It's we were looking back, and it was January.
Yeah,
January, so it'll be a year.
It'll be exactly a year since you were
By the time this comes out, it'll be a year since we last had you on. So thanks for being here.
No bother. That's quite scary.
And you wanted a Joe Rogan style podcast, so at least if the listeners want to listen back to part 1, you can listen back to January 2025.
Back to back it.
So we're going for 3 hours today then. That's why you brought in the energy drinks, is it?
Cadence, I'm not a brand partner, but I've just found them recently. It's an electrolyte drink that actually tastes nice.
Nice.
Let's check it out.
So I'm on an espresso in the morning and a couple of Cadence.
That keeps you through your busy
It'll
day.
keep you going, aye.
So you came across this guy online that started it? Or?
Online, aye. I think he was an Edinburgh-based guy, and then he went out to Dubai and had a successful business. But it was through George Heaton that runs Represent. I seen he was drinking them, and then I started to investigate it. But he's quite a clever guy.
Tastes like Tesco's sparkling water, lemon and lime.
Is that good or bad?
Not nice, but it doesn't. Hopefully, it'll do something internally to me.
It will hydrate you.
That's it. Right, good. You're always looking great, mate. You're always fresh faced. And what kind of moisturiser do you use?
He's fucking in his 20s, mate.
That was David Lloyd's on a seam room and a wee shave this morning.
Yeah, I thought you're a letting agency now.
That's why you can go to David Lloyd's and just chill out in the sauna.
No get time for that, surely.
I own the company. I don't run the company, Nick. I'm not that daft.
Right. So what's been happening over the last 12 months then? Because I'm pretty sure 12 months ago you were just starting out with that.
Yeah, I think we had bought the first portfolio, which was a 6 in Airdrie.
Yeah.
Just before I had just completed in that, I'm sure. I was actually trying to do the maths because for me, like, years just go into one another, and like I say to people, I've been involved in property for 5 years, and I'm like, wait, is it 5? Is it 4? Is it 6? So.
But you had a good couple of portfolio purchases this year as well, the HMO one
definitely.
in Glasgow.
So I looked at it before I came out, so I was factual. So I think we've bought 21 this year.
Nice.
Wow.
From January. So
that's you and your business partner and your company.
Me and my business partner. One's a SPV with Scotty, who he's had on with the
plus the
HMOs.
letting agency. Plus the sourcing business is still growing and taking over.
Yeah.
You put in a state agency as well?
State agency, letting agency, sourcing.
See, I knew we had loads to talk about.
BLK, right?
BLK, everything, yeah.
So that's in the new group?
Yep, everything's a group.
Yeah. Even the sourcing lettings?
Yep. Everything's under, I want it all under the one brand, and
right.
I eventually want like a mortgage brokerage as well.
Nice.
So it's like a proper one-stop shop for clients that come in the door that
they can get
you can supply them with everything.
Has that been difficult though, trying to do so many multiple different things rather than just, because I made the decision just to focus on trying to do the one thing and do it as best I can, do it well. Now I feel like it's taken me 7 years to do that, and now I'm like, maybe I can do a estate agency now. So how have you managed to do like a bit of everything and do it to a good standard?
He's 20 years younger and he's got energy.
Honestly,
you don't get any wins.
I think I'm daft enough to try, and I think that's how I started my business. Is like, because sometimes people phone me, like they're looking to get involved in property, they're looking to start a business, and they'll have 100 questions and what about this and what about that, and I'm thinking to myself, I didn't think about any of that when I started. And I think that's a blessing, because
so people talk themselves out an idea.
People would never get started with the amount of scales and all. Probably what you know about letting agency now, you'd have probably never started it. Like, it's one of their things. But I also feel that I'm doing the job anyway. So when you look at my business, like the front end of it, the big top funnel is still the sourcing. It's still it's the blood of the business. Any clients that come in there, we try and find them the best deal. But now we can just provide them a better service. So instead of turning around and going, right, Nick, can you manage this or whatever, I take on the full responsibility. So you're one of my clients, Nick. I come in, I say, here's a 2-bed in Paisley. It's valued at this. It's going to rent at that. And then you come back to me in 2 months' time when it comes complete and says, right, Kyle, there's the property. And how silly would I look if I've told you £650 and then I go to market it and I can only get you 400? So for me, it keeps me really accountable as a property sourcer, because the thing that I hated about our own industry, like I used to say to people that I wasn't a property sourcer, because I felt they got a terrible name.
Yeah.
They're young people that are looking for a quick buck.
Trade them, make their bucks, and then they're left dealing with
Their numbers. Their numbers are always miles off. Their end market values are always miles off. And I was like, how can I control more of this?
Aye, so creating that end-to-end sort of service and that kind of that whole brand as well is giving you a kind of more of a legitimacy, credibility type thing, hasn't it?
And it's like long term. Like I want my clients to be with us for the next 20 years. Like I want them to come through the sourcing, let the property out, they'll refinance it, they'll come back to me with the sourcing. And that's why I feel like it's like I feel like I'm in a different market, and it's like none of my clients are buying 1 and 2 properties. Like they're all buying 10, 15, 20, like try to just scale like crazy. Sure. And I think that's like a generational thing where it's like your 60-year-old investors maybe know doing the same strategies as us, and like everyone's trying to like use the same pot of cash and really work it and keep going and keep going and keep going. So I think it's a slightly different clientele, which I feel like I'm well versed to deal with. Yeah.
So like obviously like you've bought like 21 properties between yourself and your business partner. But why would as an investor then, somebody with a bit of money wanted to invest in property come to Kyle Black? Because I'm like that thinking, well, he's just buying all the best deals himself, so what can you offer?
It's just not true, is it? Because every client that comes to us couldn't have bought a Kelson Street at 2.2 million.
Yeah.
What's that?
Like, that's the HMOs in the West End.
The portfolio?
Most of them would have ran a mile. People are coming to me like, I'm looking for my first unit. I'm looking for a 60 grand flat in Paisley. So
you're mainly concentrating on the portfolios now then, rather than the single units?
For myself buying?
For you guys, yeah.
Like, well, we bought a couple of single units in Paisley, just they were lower end, they were 39.99 ones, quite like them, can get in and out quite quickly. But I've got clients that will look for portfolios, I've got clients that will look for the single units, but you just can't buy them all.
See, one of these things that I hate hearing from people is that it doesn't fit our criteria. It doesn't fit. Basically, it's not that good a deal, mate. Do you know what I mean? That's what you're saying. It doesn't fit my criteria.
You can't buy it.
I can't buy it. Like, I'm good at raising funds, but I've not got unlimited cash.
Unlimited amount of time to go and find the funds.
Do you know, it's maybe the opposite, Nick, sometimes, because a recent purchase has been 9 flats in Helensburgh, right? It's a block. There's actually 17 flats there. Initially brought 2 guys in to sell it on, one of my clients. They were up for it. They were just about to put the offer in, and they got a portfolio in Edinburgh. So they pulled out. Oh. And I actually stepped in. In fact, that's a lie. I stepped in at a later date. So then I backfilled it with another client who was wanting to buy all 17. But then in one of the blocks, there was like 4 of them vacant or 5 of them vacant. So then they said that we only want that block. So then we had to step in. We bought 9, they bought 8.
Right.
So that it's actually the opposite way in that example. Like, I've tried to give them, I think it was something like 27% discount. I was like, I'm done for the year, I don't want to buy any more. So that would have been a great deal for somebody that's buying a portfolio.
But you've already got secured, so if the pool's out, you're good this.
So that Kersland one in the West End, 2 point what million?
I think it was 2.2.
So how much of a deposit do you need to put in for that? How much cash you put in?
We jumped about. We went to a few different lenders, and then we ended up going through a broker called Prop, which we had never dealt with. And their lender was Precise, who I actually don't think a lot of people use. And they basically brought us terms that no one else could match, and we were kind of like, I think this is too good to be true. But I think the deposit, off the top of my head, I can't remember the exact numbers, was like 200 odd.
Can you dive into a bit of specifics then on that one? Because that's quite a cool one to talk about. 6
properties, one in Montrose, High Street Montrose.
So the one in Montrose like an SA unit?
It was it was a HMO, but not for students. So I think there was like
a contractor market for the
contractors in it.
Your renewables and that.
Yep. But now, because we're into this one with Scotty, so now he's turning that into an SA. Because we were originally going to sell it because it was Montrose, it's far away.
Yeah.
We couldn't really be arsed dealing with it. And then
looked at the numbers, he's like,
Aye, and then he went up and seen it, and he's like, this flat's absolutely massive. I think it's like 153 square metres or something, it's huge. He's like, I'm going to turn this into an SA, and we were like, right, cool, just do deal with it then. The other one was Paisley. I forget the exact street. It's just the one that will look right onto the uni. Big sandstones, they're nice. And then the full block at Curzon Street plus another full flat. So there's 32 tenants in Curzon Street alone.
What type of properties are they? Curzon Street?
It's like
HMOs, no.
So see where like you'll know Curzon Street is like where Byers Road.
It's HMO properties.
It's HMO, aye.
Old tired, or has it been well maintained, or
Average. So we're getting in and like renovating a room by room and basically taking a tenant for one room and moving it in. So when a room comes vacant, we'll move a tenant.
and you're keeping them as HMOs.
Yeah, we're keeping them. Aye.
They let individual rooms, or are they let
Individual rooms.
units? Are they?
Yeah.
Is that a pain in the arse for the letting agency, or is it?
Well, it's like that's like the vanity measure in it, because you own say 4 properties there, but you've got 32 tenants, so it's a hard one for the letting agent. But it will be good. We've been right on top of it. My business partner Mark, he's up there every week. Like it's quite. We didn't really know this when we were buying it, but it's very much like a community up there.
Aye.
Like you had one guy that used to do all the repairs for the landlord, and he stayed in there for free, so he was like a caretaker type of guy, which was quite weird for us getting in, as in like new landlords. We were like wait a minute, how are you paying rent?
What's your rent?
But we're starting to get on top of it now, but we'll eventually move probably like students into it. It's a mixture of people there now that are working and some students, but anytime we renovate a room, if one of our tenants don't want it, then we'll put it in the market.
Aye, and has it all been students that have been coming in it now?
Yeah.
Aye, so this deal's really interesting, because I want to know like the motivators behind who sold it, the landlords. How did you find it? How did it come to you? The rest of it. Are you able to go into that?
Aye, I'll tell you as much information as I know. So it was an old landlord who basically he buys a lot, I think, and I think he is a lot bigger fish than us, so he'll go and buy 70 units. And part of his strategy is like, right, get rid of them, get rid of these, keep them, stuff like that. So that's how we got it. And it was through another sourcer that brought it to us. So paid him a hefty fee for it, which hurt. It hurt the sourcer in me.
So at what age are you now?
I just turned 28 in November.
So how's a 28-year-old guy, right, who's only been going in business in BLK properly, like 2 years?
Well, like buying.
Aye. Where do you get 200 grand from to buy a portfolio?
My connections, isn't it? That's my business partner. That's people at Scotty. Like that's
right. Did he bring in the money then for that?
Not all of it, but between Scotty and my business partner, aye.
So you're raising private investor finance for these purchases, yeah?
Up until then, yeah, but Scotty's a JV partner on that one. That's
right.
an SPV, it's a separate company in that one. But
good cash flow in those units between those 32 tenants and the Montrose one.
Yeah, the cash flow's crazy. Like it's like 20k.
Fancy making £1,500 for sending a WhatsApp? Let's take a wee break to talk about referring sellers to John and Lewis at Prime Property Auctions. The boys have paid out over £350,000 in referral fees. Myself and Stephen have both done it, and it couldn't be easier.
If you know someone selling a property, the guys will pay you £1,500 or 1% of the sale price, whatever is higher, just for passing their details. Doesn't matter if the seller is already on with an agent or not, as long as you're in direct contact with the seller, just drop the guys a message and they'll do everything from the first call to getting the property sold. If you know someone might be looking to sell or struggling to get the result with their own agent, go to the link in the show notes and send them a message now.
And that'll go. What's the plan when you get like these bigger deals? When these bigger deals are generating that amount of cash flow, are you reinvesting? Are you living off of that? Are you taking some out? Or
I've not took a penny. So we own 29 units now. I've not put a penny once off my portfolio. My income's my day job, which is sourcing. Always.
It's interesting. That's quite a common occurrence. Even the guests we're on today is like everyone's in the same boat. Your portfolio is part of there. No one really takes income from their portfolio. They have their own either property related businesses or their job. Or
this is the misperception as well, isn't it? Because people would normally be listening to you. Oh, he's got 29 properties.
Doesn't he work again?
He's got a pink Lambo.
He must be absolutely minted. I need to get a bit of this property game. But in reality, you've got to see the kind of longer term as well, innit?
Reality, you put in so much work with dealing with tenants and dealing with refinances and down values and up values and all the stress that comes with it. You just roll it back into the next one. But
what's been your biggest stress over the last 12 months?
Probably letting go, as in, so we went for like a one-man band to like four 5 in January. So try to give people enough rope that they can go and do their job correctly with keeping the standards that I've always had.
Yeah.
I think that's the struggle for any small business, isn't it? It's like that first kind of couple employees that you don't want to be like overbearing, but you know like how you want an email to sound, you know how you speak to your clients, and because it's just been me that's been dealing with that.
Employer Mrs. now as well?
Yeah, she's my best employee. She's fucking amazing.
You've got to say that.
No, like genuinely. And do you know why, Nick? It's actually quite funny, but I always joke with her that she's had the best apprenticeship in the world, because she's beside me in the car at every phone call with an investor. She's there at dinner when I get phone calls. Like she knows like everything that I know, and you can't get that with a staff member, because they might be in for 8 hours a day, but they might be doing viewings,
and you're out for a couple of hours, right? Whereas she's with you a majority of your day.
And you can also like cut the shit. It's like I can be more direct with her and be like, no, that's no right, this is right, because we're in a relationship. It's like we're comfortable. Whereas if you're my employee, Nick, I'm kind of careful how I say it, and maybe try this way, Nick, or do that, like. So it's different. But
is she now buying into the business way and the growth and kind of coming into her own?
Do you know what is really weird to see, Willie, say, like, when I'm listening to her phone calls and like I'm thinking something in my head, like say that, and then she says it, and I've got a pure smile on my face as in like, fuck, she really knows what she's talking about now. Lucy,
bit of advice for you here, right? Get yourself on as a name director on Company's House, because you don't want to be putting all this work in just in case it all goes wrong. I'm not saying it's going to go wrong, but protect yourself, girl.
Edit that out.
She's salaried for a reason.
She makes more money than Kellen for business.
See, we were talking about the funds, Nick. Like, see, when I first started property, I didn't have any money, so I had to learn that skill of going out and asking people. Like, I think it's like selling myself, as in, look, I can get all these good deals, which my track record proves I can. Do you want to come on board? Like, I think my business partner now is the perfect example. Like, he'd sold his company, he had a lot of capital, he had invested in a couple of pubs, and they weren't great, they were high stress. He came to me, he's like, I'm looking to buy a couple of properties. And then kind of look at us now, we've got multiple businesses, a big portfolio, and he always says to me, like, I can't believe I met you, as in I can't believe that you just fell in my lap. And I'm like, no, Mark, I can't believe I met you. Like,
he wouldn't come on the podcast, would he? He's not that tight. He's no
big in the socials and that, but he would come on.
Would he? It'd be good to meet him.
He'd come on.
So how's his involvement in the business? What's the roles there? What does he do?
So he's an accountant to trade.
He's still doing that?
So with the company he sold, he's still salaried to do like a certain amount of hours, but it's small, but I'll no dig into it in case it does him out a job.
Don't you?
But he's the numbers guy, so he's the guy that we're laughing the other day, because see, like, when you get your settlement figure in, there's always wee fees in there, and you're like, where did that £600 go? Or somebody's added in an insurance policy or something like that. We're laughing the other day because his numbers on our spreadsheet were like to the pound of the settlement figure, and we were laughing, saying like, oh, you need to get better, like it needs to be closer by the decimal point. But
what would, if we asked him, if we had him sitting here, what do you think about Kyle, where his strengths are, then what would he say to that then?
He would probably say I'm the lifeblood of the business, isn't it? It's all my people, it's all my leads, it's all my properties connections, it's I would like to think
what you put in the graph doing and building.
And you're still generating new client leads all the time as well. I mean, you can never get enough, can you, when you're growing a business?
Every lead that will come through BLK then will be some sort of way through me. Whether it's they've watched them in socials and then they'll message the business page and Lucy will reply, it'll all revert back to me. And that's what I was talking about, like the front of the funnel. In my head, if I can sell more deals, get more clients, then I've got a bigger chance of growing a letting agency, because that's just feeding off the back of that. Like, I'm not a traditional letting agent that's going to, no one knows me as a letting agency. So it's like, if I can get my clients to trust me in the front end, get them a good deal, then they're more likely to back me in the back end. So that's just my constant focus.
Yeah, so the letting agency won't really be a focus, it will just be the byproduct of the sourcing business growing.
It's the best way to grow it is for like me to sell more deals, in my opinion.
Yeah, makes sense.
And regarding the deals and the sourcing side of things, how are you generating that side? getting
in terms of the leads?
In terms of the finding the clients, the properties, are you still going out doing loads of viewings with estate agents, or?
No, I can't remember the last viewing I've probably done. Like, I don't know. Even when I started, like, I was lucky, fortunate, I don't know, but like 90% of my deals were like off market, like through connections, probably, like maybe like an estate agent that knew me would maybe contact me before it goes to market or something like that. But a lot of the deals that I'll do now that are maybe on market will just come before or through other sources. Like, I can't remember the last time I was really viewing something on the market. Like, I just don't see. I don't think you should pay me my sourcing fee if that's the case. I don't really feel that I'm doing my job properly. I feel I want to get you something, Nick, that the market can't get.
So what, your deals just come from network and people you know, or are you still doing paid ads and stuff like that? Or
we're going to go heavy in paid ads in January, because we've actually got a system now to back it up. We've got the staff to phone the leads, because we flirted with it before, and it's like a money pit if you're not
phoning the leads out quickly.
Like, you need to phone them within like the first couple of minutes when they're the hottest, and you need to have the system to collect all the data on the back end so you can follow up on that. So I had trialed and errored it a few times, and I just didn't. I didn't feel like I was given it the correct
attention,
but knew that we can actually do it. But all my leads will be generated through other sources, my connections with solicitors, insolvency practitioners. Like, we'll do a lot of portfolios with them. Like, it'll be somebody's going out of business and can resell the portfolio.
Obviously, kind of early stages, like you say, of building the team as well, but it's like there's a lot of costs involved in running a business as well. I mean, you've got the office too, a lot of overheads. So you're pretty much just reinvesting back into that as well, and just try to scale it with the team, the office premises, the systems, and obviously you're going to get a big tax bill this year as well.
Yeah, it's expensive, but it's like, see if I can get my salary, I'm fine. Like, I don't need money now. Like, I don't need loads of money. I don't need like a big fancy car. Like, me and Lucy stay in a 1-bedroom flat. Like,
what are you enjoying most at the moment about building the business?
Do you know, I really like seeing like a client's journey now. I like, because it was an idea. I like, can I source someone a property, then hand them over to the lets and have that aftercare? But now it's actually happening. So I'm seeing like emails pop into the lets, and it'll be like a client I dealt with 6 months ago, and it'll be like just like good reviews, or like saying like we're ready to buy the next one. So that's quite kind of nice to see that journey. But still, what gets me excited is like getting a big deal, like a big portfolio. It's probably, to get down to the nitty-gritty, I love the bit where like you're the seller, you're the buyer, and you are close with a number, and I'm in the middle, just like, Stevie, will you come up a bit? Nick, will you come down a bit? Like,
you like the negotiating.
That wee last 1% is probably where I get the buzz.
What about the estate agency then? Because obviously, like, you can just you can do normal, just traditional estate agency too.
Yep.
Somebody out there just selling the house, get in touch.
Yeah.
So do you become involved in that at all? Like, or how have you got that set up?
So that's Lucy's bag there now. She'll go out, take the photos, do the viewings, manage all that in terms of the admin side. But again, I'm generating the leads. Like, it's like a Declan, it's like developers that will come and have just sold a flip, or they're going to sell the flip, they'll sell it through us. But it's also good to offer, like, if I do go to an off market viewing, like we had one in Springburn last week, it's tenanted, the woman wants like full home report value, and I was like, look, I know my audience, I don't think I'll be able to get you that. I'll try my investors first, and then we can come back. So none of the investors really because there was no discount, and then we offered her to take it onto the open market with the tenant in place. So it's good to have that side of it, but probably more business from developers, people looking to sell their property. And then we've just recently partnered up with Ellie Black, who's Scotty's missus. She does the staging.
Oh yeah.
So
that's Scott McFarlane that we had on the podcast, wasn't it? It does the essay management. Yeah.
So that came for like a pain point of mine, and probably Declan. You've probably been there 100 times, Stevie, so you buy the project, you spend so much money in the renovation, it's looking amazing, but you're getting to that end point and it's like, can I pay a couple of grand to stage it? And it's like, I know it'll do better in the open market, but do I want to pay for it? Do you know? And it's like, we couldn't find a stager that would like defer the payment like a estate agent would. So
it almost becomes part of the refurb cost around that.
Yeah. So we approached early and we says, look, we've got this idea. It might hurt your cash flow for a few months, but I think once it's up and running, it'll be great. So that's something we offer, that you can defer all the staging payments and the estate agency payments until the end, if like,
and bolt on the estate agency as well.
Yeah,
I think that's a great idea.
Same contract.
That's a good.
Everything's paid.
I mean, that's like innovative, isn't it, in the market? You know, I don't see anyone else doing that.
I've not heard anyone else doing it, because I try to find it myself. Like, I try to find a stager that would take payment later.
I tried to do a Remax brand in Dunfermline about 6-7 years ago, but it wasn't a deferred payment. It was like, yeah, you can provide the service, and you can provide either the assisted sale or the bolt on staging or dressing, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, you're doing it up front and they're paying it up front.
I guess the only thing is with that kind of model is that she's got all that stock, if you like, tied up in that property. What happens if a sale falls through? What happens if the property doesn't even get sold? So I guess there's an element of risk, but
she gets paid regardless. So we worked that in the contract.
All right.
So say in the contract that she'll get like a basic regardless. And also a thing that I thought about was like, so normal stagers have got like, let's say you've got like 6 weeks with the furniture in, then you'll play like a retainer the further it goes. But when you think of the properties we're trying to sell, the developers deals, that's why it's called that, they're walk-in condition.
Yeah, they're nice.
You put it on the market,
they're going to sell
with staging. You're talking about a week of viewings
over the home report,
because that's the properties that you're going to stage as the full renovations and refurbs.
So I actually said to Ellie, I was like, I actually think we can limit that time and like manage to churn more out, because you might only have it in for 2 weeks. And I know as soon as I've got the offer and sent to a solicitor, like, go and take your furniture out, it's going to lie empty anyway.
Talking about furniture, like, I know that I'm 100% on board with the staging, right? See, for the marketing photos, I don't know if you had a play about with Google's Nano Banana.
Yeah.
So this is AI image generation tool where you can take a room without any furniture, you know, just like a shitty kind of bog standard buy-to-let flat where it could be like just magnolia paint. Like, you know,
properties like that.
Showing your age now with the magnolia paint.
That's next buy-to-let.
Most of my flats are still magnolia. Kidding on. There's a grey, actually. Grey's gone out as well now, isn't it? So
what's the new one that everyone, Egyptian cotton?
Egyptian cotton.
I think that's even going out there now as well.
It's Craig Gallagher special, the Egyptian cotton.
Egyptian cotton.
So obviously with Nano Banana, you can virtual stage it. The issue with that is obviously it's a huge letdown when people actually go. So
I was going to say,
they're seeing the images on Rightmove and they go, wow, amazing, great if you want to get people through the door, but then there's going to be a huge anticlimax and disappointment when they walk through the door.
Is that it?
Do you know what I mean? So that was the problem. I mean, virtual staging's been around for a while now.
Yeah.
But I know the power of the AIs coming in as well. Do you use it at all in your business?
Do you know, me and Stevie were talking about that? Like, I would love to know more about it. Like, I think it's something I'm going to go get educated on, like pay for a course or start following some people, because I mean, I use the basics like everyone does, like ChatGPT, and write some emails and some automations and that, but like, I think it could be massive, especially like, I want to run my business really, really lean. Like, I don't want just staff for the sake of it, and like this big great office for a vanity measure. So it's certainly, I'm a novice in it now, but I want to look into it.
The call agent's one that we're looking at, AI receptionist. So I think that could be good for lettings. You know, you're dealing with a lot of inbound calls.
Yeah.
These calls can take up 15, 20. You could be on the phone to book a viewing sometimes 10 to 15 minutes. If the person doesn't speak English that well, you're trying to spell out every single letter to try and get the email correct. You know, they're then not really getting the system, so you're trying to explain it in slow terms, and before you know it, and after a 10-minute call, you could be absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
That whole AI receptionist could take that away from you, and we're looking at a few systems at the moment for that sort of stuff.
I seen Alex Hormozy basically made an AI of himself.
Yeah.
So like, know how he does all the big education.
Aye.
So he basically spoke to the AI for months and months and months and months. So now that he gives that to students, so that they've essentially got Alex Hormozy there. So then I'm struggling with my marketing. Here's my points I want to improve in, and then that churns out like what he would actually tell you. It's quite interesting.
Lewis and John from Prime, they went over to Vegas, I think it was. I was like, where's your picture with Hermosa? He wasn't even there. Nice. It was like one of his minions.
I love the conversations with Lewis because he's like Hermosa's biggest fanboy.
Oh, he's such a... he absolutely loves him, doesn't he?
I actually think he
Big fanboy.
He might be Hermosa AI.
Biggest fan.
He just churns his stuff out. But Lewis is great to listen to as well, and he always holds the mirror up to you.
Yeah.
As in like...
Oh, flips it to you.
Why are you running about like a busy fool, Kyle? Like, stop running 4 businesses, just run one.
Aye.
I'm like, fuck.
How did you come back with that answer?
No,
I'm
is
going to open a 5th.
Right, we've got Lewis and John on the podcast as well.
That probably goes back to the question that Nick was asking you as well. Like, but I suppose, is that helping you build a team in place that you can have multiple businesses at the one go and grow them all simultaneously?
I just think I'm a good generalist. Like, I think that's what I'm good at. I'm good at like starting and then try to fill it with the right people. And I think that's what I'm realising now. I could only go so far with myself. So it's not like a case of I want to focus on one thing, but I'm focusing on one thing because still the thing that I will focus on like 90% of my time will be the sourcing. And now I'm bringing somebody in like under me to do that exact thing. So that...
See the lettings, did you bring somebody in with lettings experience?
No, I trained her.
Alright. Oh, that's decent. So you did have to put in the effort there to get it set up. But
it's no perfect, Nick. It's even when I look at things and like it's definitely not how I want it now. But what we do pride ourselves on is like understanding this new investor that I'm talking about, because it's with my knowledge actually buying units all the time and going through refinancing process and values and automated values. It's like there's like more to that part of it, which is my value. I personally think like the aftercare should be pretty easy. You can only get so many repairs and you can only be good at customer service so much. Like,
well, that's what we just had a guest on, Gavin Bell there, and he started investing in property and he had like 3 buy-to-lets, and he was like, I just couldn't be bothered with it. I was getting emails left, right and centre from the letting agent, you know, about this toilet wasn't flushing and all the rest of it, and he said just couldn't be arsed. So I think he just sold one of the properties. But it's like, it's difficult, see from the letting agent's point of view, right? Because you want to be 100%. Transparency is a big thing that a lot of letting agents fall down on, right? Yeah. So we set up to be 100% transparent. So any time that you want to, you could go into our maintenance portal and find out what that plumber's bill was, because you can actually go in and see the video that the tenant sent in of the leaking tap or whatever, right? Yeah. And obviously that triggers an email so that they know it's there. But it's up to you as the investor about how much you want to become involved in it. I always say to clients, look, everything's there. If you want to be 100% all in, hands on, know every little detail about your portfolio, everything is there. And you will, like, we can switch off the notifications if you want, if you don't want to be. So a lot of people, like, they complain about all this stuff, but they're not willing to kind of take a back seat, if you know what I mean.
Nick, see what you're saying there? I can guarantee you that you are better than 99% of letting agents. See the experience I've had recently, I think you can see how good a letting agent is with a handover. See when you're taking business off them. I think that really shows the true colours of like what they're like.
Struggle to get a tenancy agreement sometimes.
Exactly. Whereas like if they ask us, it's all on file, it's sent to them. It's like, how much can I help you pass this over? It's part of the game, isn't it? That like that's always going to happen. But see the amount of like agents that we've messaged for handovers, and they're like, I don't know, these are the nitty-gritty things that get me. It's like misspelling your name. We had one the other day, and the ICR and the gas safety cert was at a different address, and we commented on it, and he's like, the guy just done it wrong at the time.
Why did it not get sorted?
And it's like, seriously, like that's where I feel like, I was like, is that what we're up against type of thing? Yeah. So see you saying all that about the videos and the portals and all that, like you'll be better than...
but you will be as well, because you've coming from it from like an approach where technology, you know yourself, and it was the same with me. I had my own property portfolio, so I knew how I wanted it managed, and what landlords want, and you're the same. Because you've got your own properties and you're young, you've got ideas and you're creative, and you.
How's it hard to pull the hat on as a letting agent to go from you build the business based on it, a landlord or an investor, to dealing with tenant inquiries to think about it from their point of view? Is it quite difficult?
I don't deal with the day to day is the honest answer. So like Carly's really good at that. Like she's probably the one that deals with all the tenants' calls, and like you're saying, sometimes you'll be on for 10 minutes and somebody just wants a chin wag. Like genuinely, like a wee woman we've got up near Dre, like she'll phone you just because she's in herself and she'll just chat and she wants to speak. So like I'm not in the day to day with that stuff. I'm in the day to day like how can we generate more leads, how can we build the systems,
get more investors on board,
and just try to get my standards across to that side. Like I think a letting agency is just customer service. You just need to sit in the middle with your landlord and your tenant and be really nice and try and get the solution, for in my opinion.
I know it's really great to hear you say that you're not getting bogged down with the day to day like tenant stuff. I mean, ultimately the tenants are our customers, right? You can never forget that, and I will go on the phone with the tenant if there's a major problem to sort out. You know, I don't mind that, but the day to day stuff, like now the team deal with that, but it took me 5 years to get to that point, so it's refreshing hearing you say you've managed to get that sorted already, you know.
I think just because I went in with that attention, because as I say, it's like I'm not going to be the best letting agent in the world, but I could have a decent shot at building a team with me guiding them on how I've been treated in the past as a landlord.
And your values as well.
And the values I've been, because that's what BLK is all about. Transparency comes to the transparency of like, if we've fed them the deal, it comes back to that same thing. It's like, I said to you 2 years ago that the boiler was 10-year-old, so you might need to replace it. So like the client probably already knew that was coming up, whereas sometimes when we take a property on from like self-management or something that we didn't source, it's very easy to go in and go, oh, it needs a new board, it needs that, because you're not responsible for it. But because I'm generating most of the leads coming through the sourcing side, I really understand and have told my investor client what's wrong with the property or what might need done in 2, 3, 4, 5 years time. So I think it just makes it so much easier. It's so much cleaner. You got
a system set up for dealing with emergencies? Because emergencies still got my phone.
We've got Rex software which we use, which I like it for now, but I think we're going to outgrow it. But that's got like an automation where it'll pop up a couple of questions, so you don't get a phone call right away, and then I will just get an emergency.
But would the phone call ultimately, if it was something shit to deal with, would it go to you?
No, it would go to Mark.
Mark, mate, you need to get this sorted, Mark.
I can't do it all, Nick. I'm out generating a business. You need to know your strengths.
He's sitting here taking all the credit, man. It's really Mark. This is what I'm saying when Mark come on the podcast.
That's exactly my job. I'm the face of the brand.
Business development.
I am the guy that generates the leads.
Nah, absolutely. No, you've got it. It's a great structure, partnership. But I want to tell you a quick funny story. So I'm driving to the Edinburgh Christmas markets on Saturday with fucking 3 kids in the back, mayhem, fucking pissing down the rain, driving on the M8. Call comes in. I'm like, I knew straight away it was a tenant. Do you know what I mean? No caller ID or anything like that. I had the number, but it wasn't a name or anything. So I'm like, oh, no way, I'll get that when I pull over. Keeps coming, you know that way where they're just calling.
They've got a hole in the roof.
Aye. So I'm like, well, they're going to send I'm driving, I can't speak. The kids are in the back, they're on the iPads, too much noise. And then usually what happens is people try 3 or 4 times and then the text message will come through. So I'm waiting on the text message coming through. Text message comes through. Emergency leak, the water's pouring in. I'm like, right, okay. I pulled over and I was like, right, send me the address. What's the address? Address came through. It's a flat in Nottingham. So this is, I don't know if you've heard me speak before, but this is this agency that's set up in Edinburgh called Arc Property Management, right? Which there's at least probably 3 times a month this fucking comes through to me, because what happens is they go on Fixflow, they go on Google and they just type in Arc and we come up number 1.
And then they start floating.
And then they go to our website and then they go to the report the maintenance. Now if you go to the report maintenance link, then you go to the emergency, they'll get my number. So it comes through to me and I'm like, fuck this, man, I'm not dealing with this shit. So I just dinged it, drove to Edinburgh, went to the Christmas markets, forgot about it. Anyway, I was like, put it out of my mind. That night,
So
a
the fake Eric's got another
Google review came through, and it was a 1 star. Now we've got like 110, like 5 stars or something like that. Google review comes through 1 star. Terrible agency. Don't deal with emergency repairs. All the rest of it. I'm fucking raging, man.
Who was the first ARC?
The first ARC. It was me.
Was it you?
Aye, ARC Property. It was
You're not
me.
trying to sort this though. And then
Yeah, so I've
You
tried.
need to get a big legal team on it.
I've tried to trademark the name, right? So I put the trademark through, and they came back to me and said, because you've tried to trademark it after they've created their company, like, you can't do it. If I'd done it before they created, like, so I was the first one back in 2017, then they came in, I think, 2021. And I phoned the owner and all that, and I was like, had a discussion with her. I was like, look, I'm not being funny, but would it not make more sense? Like, you've just started up. Like, can you not just change your name?
Change it. Aye.
She was like, no, we've done all our branding and all this. I'm like,
Well,
you're at it.
Well, you should have researched that there wasn't another mark.
You're at it, because you would have known fine well if you just Google searched. So, but I'm dealing with this shit on a Saturday afternoon.
The joys of lettings.
But aye, coming back,
Give them a nice 1 star.
coming back to you, mate. Trademark that BLK.
I will. I've
Before-
not done it yet.
Do it, because I don't think it's a lot of money. And I always remember back to a guy called Ryan, a letting agent in Edinburgh, and he reached out to me way back at the start, and he was like, oh, you should trade. He was starting a letting agency at the same time. He's like, you should trademark. I was like, trademark? What are you talking about, man? Like, other things to worry about. Put it to the back of my mind. Now I wish I'd followed.
People do that for like not a living, but loads of people. Like, was another thing that I'm sure it was Chelsea Football Club. They had to buy like their Twitter handle,
Like buying domain names and buying
like
all the
for a fortune, for like millions of pounds. I'm sure Chelsea get done with that because like somebody had made a Twitter that was official, like Chelsea FC, and that's like the only one you can make. So they had to buy it off them. So
You've had people copying you and took 10 grand off somebody pretending to be you.
Oh yeah, the crypto scammers as well.
that's when you know you've made it, Stevie.
When they make fake accounts.
When they make fake
force you
accounts.
a blue tick.
What's annoying you about the industry at the moment? Is there anything that's kind of winds you up just now? Property education, educators, sourcers.
Nah. I like protecting my energy, Nick. I went through a deep dive on like TikTok and all the stuff that's happening in the UK now and all that stuff, and I actually said to Lucy, like, I need to check out mentally with this stuff, because I think like,
Why?
because I've got enough on my plate, and I feel like the way the UK system is regardless of what I think or how strong my beliefs are, is I personally don't feel as a man I can change it right now. So,
But is social media not the way you built your business? So how can you check out of it? Do you not still need to be quite active on it?
I can post,
and come
But you
up.
won't try and consume too much.
it was consuming, and the algorithm on TikTok feeds you all this same stuff, and
Right.
you only get one side of the story, and then you end up going like that. Like, Lucy's going to walk to the shops, I'm scared for her to walk to the shops, and then it eats you up. So I'm just like protecting my energy. I just go to work and I fucking work hard, and I try and check it out.
Something must have happened to you that annoyed you over the last 12 months, man.
But
Somebody must have tried to screw you over.
people, what does annoy me is when people come into the industry, and I've probably been there myself, and they try and overinflate numbers, and I hate that.
Well,
because,
that's good. Let's try and give people some advice then, starting out. Let's turn that into a positive.
Yeah.
How can we advise people starting out, like, to not make those mistakes, overinflate numbers, which is like what they're trying to make a deal stack and look attractive for a quick win sourcing fee. Is that kind of what we're talking about?
That's exactly it. And I think it's been like self-aware enough to go like that. Like, Nick, your experience, can you double check my numbers? Because a lot of these ones will be like co-source, right? And somebody will ping me through the numbers, and like I could easily just forward that onto a client and they would buy it based on their numbers. But obviously I'm going to check my own numbers to protect my clients. But it's so easily done because everyone's so fixed on like, I only want to leave 15 grand in a deal, I only want to leave this amount, like talking about criteria, that it actually doesn't mean a lot, because all the numbers are so movable depending what happens. Like, your yield will go up a few percent if it goes up £50, your valuations can come down, your loan to value can go up. There's so many
interest rates go up, you're back down.
exactly. So like, these criterias are only good if everything stays the same. But with that, I think people just need to be aware that like, always go on the safe side of it. So like, if you can see 6 comparables at 700, 750, then just go with the 700. Don't try and you see one at 850, which might be furnished or something like that, and like you're like rent's 850. Because I would rather, my advice would be you'd rather not do the deal than do a deal and get a bad name, because the bad name sticks. Like nobody's going to know that you didn't complete in a deal or you didn't sell that deal. And I think like slow and steady would actually win the race, instead of like just try to come out for a property education course and just sell everything. Like you need to think that, right, I'm going to be in this for the next 10 years. Everyone in the property industry is going to know who I am, because we all know people sitting here that we've heard stories about that cheat their numbers, that talk shite, that don't pay their investors back. Like we all know that. So and it's such a small industry, especially this modern investor that we are talking about. Like we know everyone that's doing anything.
This is how I respect like yourself in that, because when you say about that Helensburgh deal and you ended up just stepping in there and buying it yourself, that wasn't the original plan, did you say, was it?
No, that was the third plan.
Aye.
First client bought the Edinburgh portfolio. Second client said yes to the deal, but then when, I think it was something to do with the valuations, but I just don't think they had enough funds, so they decided to pick the 8 that needed renovated so they could up the value, which then left me as the property sourcer, the seller, who was in a tight situation, all in the same predicament. So I stepped in, called the deal. You stepped in,
and at the end of the day, why are you stepping in? Because obviously it's your reputation maybe on the line as well. You want to...
I believe in the product. I believe in what they were going to buy.
Yeah.
Fucking great assets.
And you're not selling them shit deals. You'd buy them as well, yeah.
So
no, that's a big thing.
Now I'm going to own the block beside them, like literally.
Aye, and do you know who else does that as well? Chris DL. Like I like Chris. Like got a lot of time for him. Sometimes I think to myself, how can he be scaling that much and doing that many deals where they can all be like decent deals? But obviously, like I think he mentioned one on the podcast where it didn't work out for his client, so he just stepped in and bought it.
Yeah,
and like it was I
think just as long as you're transparent as well. See if something goes wrong, it's like, well, let's look at my numbers. Here's my facts. Here's my figures. Like, it's quite rare that happens. But then coming up with a solution, like if that happened now, I'd be like, well, can I sell it on the open market through the agency and I'll waive my fees? Like, what can we do to get you out of that situation?
I had somebody source me a deal in Aberdeen when they came off Paul's course like 5-6 years ago, and tried to charge a 12 grand fee, and when I went to come into completing it and get the finance through, and it wasn't mortgageable, there was no completion search from it, it wasn't picked up, but it was the usual, came off a course, bit of green, rather than taking it on the chin, and I said, look, I'm not paying you a 12 grand fee, I'm going to have to bring in a private investor. I'd end up splitting the company, buying it in an SPV, I said, I'm not paying you a 12 grand fee, I'll pay you a few grand, so I end up paying a few grand, and rather than taking it on the chin and going, I'll learn from that, like, if anybody's ever got anything bad to say about it, it's this guy. It's the only time I've never paid what I've said I'm going to pay, but there's a reason for it. And rather than just being like, do you know what, that's on me, I didn't really fully check it, I made an ask for that, I learned my lesson, let's continue to work together, didn't, and I thought that's quite short-sighted, because like you say, the industry is so small.
See, another thing about like Big Chris, for example, and like me, like we're in the trenches, like we're getting the up vals, getting the down vals, dealing with the surveyors, the intricate details that like a sourcer starting tomorrow would never know, like EPC ratings, like square meterage. You can't get certain mortgage products on a flat with like under 20 square meters. There's so many intricate details.
But
like,
we would never, just to be clear, we've never talked down to anybody coming off a course or anything like that, because we you know, you guys were all there once. I never did it, but you know, you
just need to be self-aware enough to go, do you know, I'm not an expert. Nick, here's the deal.
I think that's the key thing.
Here's my numbers. Here's the research I've done.
And I think that's where you came through the ranks, and that's what I used to see your content, and you were very kind of honest and transparent about, you know, I've not been doing this that long and I'm still learning and stuff like that, but you've done enough now to prove your worth. Know what I mean? And you've been going that long, so I get it.
You're still here.
It takes a long time to build up that credibility, you know. You've been going, what, 4?
I think it's 5.
5 years.
I think it's 5.
It's interesting though, like I think David Hutton said that on the last podcast he was on, is it takes you years and years to build up that reputation. It can just take you one deal or one thing to fucking screw it. And I think that's so important that people look past it.
Yeah, I don't think like David likes the younger generation, does he?
He's no, I think it's
we're here to take his monopoly.
he was the original. He's the original quick sale. He was the original.
He was the guy.
Aye, so I think it's just not. I think he admits himself because he went on David Smart's podcast just recently as well, and I heard him talk. I listened to it, and David was good. He put quite a few questions to him, quite direct, and Davey was pretty honest and said, "Look, you guys coming through, you are doing a better job than me. You are taking a lot of my business. It's because you're good at all the social media and all that." Because I think David's question was, how come you're starting TikTok all of a sudden or something like that? He says, well, that's the way it is. That's the way you guys are doing business now. So I need to adapt and change. It's no longer.
If you can't beat them, join them.
Right, well,
That's quite cool to see, though, isn't it?
For him, it was like years of Radio Clyde, and that was his way. But he's adapting as well,
Yeah.
and it's
And
good.
that shows that shows that he's self-aware.
Yeah.
He could be the older gentleman that's been doing this for years and looks down at the younger people.
Yeah.
What do they know? I'm so experienced, but now he's like, wait a minute, can I generate leads from TikTok?
Yeah.
Can I get flexible again?
We were mentioning about the old school letting agencies, like the high street letting agencies, that will probably go down the pan in the next few years because they're like, what do they know? We've got all these landlords that have been landlords for 30 years, but they're all exiting the market one at a time. They just keep losing stock. Whereas you've got landlords that are coming in and buying 20, 30 in a year.
But I think Davey's message as well was like a lot of what he sends out as, the guy will come around to your house, promise you cash. They've not got the cash a lot of the time. We see that, don't we?
Of course.
He has got the cash. So
when was a cash buy ever cash buy recently? It's like cash buy means like they're going to bridge it and they're going to raise the finance and the thing with.
Or they're going to get a private investor in quickly to buy it. Aye.
But that's when it gets serious, Nick, because I've had cases before and it's like the final repossession letters is on the door and people stand in front of me and crying, and that's the bit that people probably don't see. And it's like, can I genuinely provide a service here to help this person? And it's like, I've been on the phone to Aberdeen Considine and getting them to sign papers to say I can speak on their behalf to basically stop this and say, look, we're selling the property, we're dealing with it. And like, that's when it's more than a numbers game, because we can come on this podcast and say, oh, we bought it at 25% BMV and chat all that, but like when someone's actually in that situation, you need to have the knowledge and the skills to
pull off,
get them out of it. And it is like, see if they turn around and say it is a 4-week completion, then it's a 4-week completion. It's no, we'll get to the 4th week and then we'll push it to 5th, 6th, 7th. Like, that's when it does get serious, and that's when there's like the emotional side of property. But I would probably say now that's less than 10% right now. The ones that I deal with, it's like you've had a successful businessman and he's maybe bit off too much so that he can chew, so he's exiting his portfolio or something like that. It's more.
Yeah, I think it was you and Dudding put a post up yesterday on Facebook, and he was like, met a guy in Dubai or something like that, talking about the huge opportunity that there is with this current kind of demographic of old tired landlords that are just getting out. I mean, I think it has been a thing for a few years now, but I can't see it changing. I mean, talk of 10% ADS in the Scottish government and all the rest of it.
What's like your clientele, Nick, as in like
young, pretty much.
Is it like similar?
Yeah, so most of them are, when I say young, I don't mean like 20s, it's probably like 30s, 40s.
But like a modern investor, and I mean that by how they think.
Modern mindset, like, being on, listening to podcasts, because we generate a lot of leads, from the podcast directly. Like, people come to me and say, Nick, I've got a property that I bought, listen to your podcast, or the courses as well, done the courses.
So do you think there is going to be a big landslide, even like coming away from big corporate estate agencies, letting agencies, no face to the brand? Like, in my head right now, they've got the monopoly of like 50 upwards, and
I think the big corporate agencies like your Countrywide and all that, I'm pretty sure, I don't know for a fact, but most of their demographic of landlords will be like just a single property like landlords.
Right.
So it'll be like the accidental landlords, like they had a flat when they were at uni, and then the first time buyer, and then they met the partner, and now they've got a house, but they kept the flat for a wee bit of additional income.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of that as well.
I'd be so much more admin now.
If you just had one personal name property.
I just mean for the letting agent.
Oh, yeah.
I would rather a couple of clients with 100 units each. You know what I mean?
But if you're not in the investment, or the networks like we're in, then you would just go down or Google search whoever's paying the most Google AdWords or whoever's got the most visibility on the high street. You would probably just go with them, wouldn't you?
Who your granny sold with,
or something like that. The kind of old school traditional landlords that you hear moaning a lot of the time, I think they're definitely on the way out as well, because they kind of adjust their mindset to
the new way of life,
reinvesting as well in the property. For me, that's a big thing. I don't touch my rental income. It just goes back into the properties.
You need to use your big pot of cash you've been sitting on for ages. That's what you need to do.
Don't go there. we set our goals, didn't we? We did a podcast to go out, and it's on goals. So like that.
We touched on goals, didn't we?
So going back to the, I've got landlords, because I do have some older landlords as well.
Yeah.
And you know for a fact that it's a real hard work to get them to renew a washing machine or something like that.
Yeah.
Something that me and you, we would all just be like, just whatever. They're wanting 3 quotes in for a washing machine, right? Okay.
I guess that's more the modern mindset as well, because I'm like that. Like, I want to fully renovate every one of my properties, or like I want really good standard flooring, washing machines. Like, if someone phones me with an issue, like I'm like, right, can we go and replace it? Like, within reason, of course. Like, but if somebody had a dated kitchen, I would be planning over the next couple of years, I want to go in and
get that done,
replace the kitchens. But I feel like if we take over some properties, like the state they're in, and you're like, how has this been tenanted for the last 5 years? Like, how's someone paying that? But I guess that's another positive. The more regulations, the more...
But then it becomes economies of scale, doesn't it? In terms of, you're the investor, you're going to need at least 10 properties to actually make that business work, right?
Yeah.
And even then, you're not generating a huge cash flow from 10 buy-to-lets.
That's why, like...
No, but your capital appreciation and your exit plan at the end, if you're 20, 30 years in the line and going, I'll sell these off.
That mounts up.
Aye.
That's why I think, like, anyone that is young and getting into property is looking to scale aggressively and use other people's money in that, because we're playing a slightly different game from the older landlord that would have had a good job and saved up a deposit and bought something and maybe bought something in 5 years' time. I think it's a different game, and the reason it's a different game is because there's so many regulations, there's so many fees, there's so many different regulations even in the lettings that you need to maintain, and
the regulation's fine. I do not have an issue with the regulation, and even if they put it up to 10% ADS, it's another cost, but ultimately the business model of buy-to-let property investing 100% works. Just because of the supply and demand, there's not enough properties, and it's always going to be a shortage of supply. Unless there's that oversaturation and rents start dropping, then there's an issue, but the rent's going to keep going up. So
I think in all our lifetime that'll keep doing the same.
If you think about it, that's why all the big there's banks now that are buying up portfolios and stuff like that. Lloyd's Bank, I think. John Lewis are doing build to rent. Some of the big pension providers are also doing build to rent, which is effectively buy to let.
Yeah.
Just they're building new properties and holding on.
Have you seen how much, like, even in Finniston, like, we just stay around the corner for that, and like there's so much of the rental stuff going on, like the new build developments into rent. So
aye. And that's no helping the rent, like Living Rent, who, you've gone and debated with on BBC and all the rest of it. Their big, obviously, arguments are that, landlords are taking the piss out of their rents and all the rest of it. That's not helping affordable rent. See the big build to rent, what do you call them? Build to rent operators. They're not helping that side of the market. They're not affordable rents. No. They're very premium,
and they're putting gyms and saunas and pool tables and
absolutely. But
that's what you do. Your block at Glasgow.
But the business model works because that's where they're putting the pension money. And the pension money is usually put into quite safe, less risky assets. So that's why I think
I heard that was the target of a Living Rent reel recently.
Oh yeah,
I know you follow them.
Oh yeah. I think you were. You popped up. Aye. They're getting the use out of that anyway.
Must have been clipping their clips up. Still not accepted your invite to come on.
No, I've sent them a few messages to come on and obviously debate, and this is why I think it's great as well, because we've got nothing to hide. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely. I agree with Live and Rent about getting rid of the slum landlords. I would love to do like...
Every landlord would, like, worth their weight in gold would agree with that, though. But I hate when the conversation's one-sided. It's like scripted, like, here's the big slogan that I'm going to say about the bad landlord, but I don't give you a chance to actually have the conversation and say, well, see points 1, 2 and 3, I agree with them and we should change that, but see point 4, here's my opinion on it. That's why I feel like long form conversation, even that one you done, Stephen, it's like a tit for tat, like if you're in school, like you need mature people to sit around a table and see it from different perspectives and actually have a long form conversation, because you can't get things out in wee short clips. It's not a way to communicate.
I just don't think there's anything wrong with making money out of providing a decent quality product, which is the product is you're putting a lot of money into renovating a good quality home for somebody.
And that's what they have an issue with.
They have an issue because they believe that it's a human right for somebody to have a home. They believe that because there's a shortage, that landlords should not be profiting.
Who else is going to do it
from that? Exactly. We don't live in, we're not living in a communist society where everybody's provided with a home from the government. Do you know what I mean? So it's like that.
And if that was the case, they wouldn't even be able to provide us with it because there's not enough homes.
Aye. So I don't know. Yeah. Rent controls as well. I don't actually have an issue with rent controls.
No.
See, like, I don't think that landlords should be putting rents up by 20% and all the rest of it.
I believe in a fair market. A market will pay what a market's worth. If it's not worth it,
that's my preference.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I don't agree with any interference in that, because that's when it does what's happened. It does.
You're trying to start to control a free market, but
well, they did. With energy prices, they did a thing where they put. They put caps on that to protect people, consumers, and all the rest of it. So no, I don't have an issue because
Shell still turned over about 100 million profit.
Brilliant.
Back to yourself, Kyle.
Yes.
Where's
the direction of travel?
Yeah.
Keep building the trading business. Like, that's where all my focus is going to go. I want to build like a decent team behind us, and just keep feeding that front funnel. More deals equal more clients in the back end. Like, and for my own personal, because I kind of separate like the trading business and then like the investing. My goal when I first bought the S6 was like 30 before 30, but I'm at 29 at 28, so that'll probably need to change. But also, like, I think sometimes like that's such a vanity measure, because I could have 30 absolute dog flats, and like I think I've realised that seeing a Curzon Street, it's a sandstone building in the middle of the West End and one of the best postcodes that I own the full block, and the cash flow is crazy. So it's like not being more picky for myself, but like, if I was to die tomorrow and I was to hand that down to like my kids or something that I've not got yet, that's when I'd be proud of.
If you could take a step back totally from the business, I know you don't want to because you're very young and you've got the energy and you love doing it, right?
Yeah.
But if you took a step back from the business totally, let it run itself, and spent all day in the sauna or the gym, David Lloyd, or do whatever, go on holidays, would there be a figure in your head, like a freedom figure that you'd be content with, a monthly reoccurring figure?
I think
to lead a decent life.
Not like a figure, but I would like to just rally the lets for 5 years, exit a private equity, fucking get the feet up.
Yeah.
Would you though?
For a small period.
Yeah.
For a small period, and I would love to keep a portfolio, and it's just like, that's my portfolio. Exit the let to a bigger company, take a nice sum, and then
put in the debt in the portfolio and live off thing,
and not to stop, to give myself time to think of like,
what's next?
What would you like to do next? It'd be interesting.
There's high demand for lettings business. There's a couple of
saleable, isn't there?
There's a couple of podcasts that I've just listened to recently, and they were talking about valuing an estate agency over a lettings business. So like that, basically an estate agency has no value
because it's all sales.
Aye. And then obviously the reoccurring income for lettings.
Well, you've seen a lot of big roll-ups recently, like in Glasgow and further afield, and it's like, if you're private equity, it's almost guaranteed. Like if a new letting agent takes over like a large portfolio, like, really what you're going to lose, like 10-15% maximum. So it's
no, that's true.
It's as close to printing money as you can get into it.
Yeah. What
And
other goals have you got set for 2026? Any personal goals?
I would like to acquire letting agents as well. Like, I feel like that'll be, it kind of aligns with my skill set. Like, as I said, I'm not going to be an amazing on the ground letting agent, but I think I could have good connections and use my skills of raising funds to go and purchase it like I would a property, and work my numbers as in how quick can we get the money back. And I can see that being not an easy way to scale, but something that would probably suit my strengths, as in to buy letting agents. Aye.
Nice one. It's been great following your journey, mate, and we'll keep having you back in here if you want to do more interviews, because there's always something new to talk about, and we'll get Mark in the next time. Who's the real powerhouse behind the business?
Yeah, I'm just the face of the brand.
Needs to be about the sauna.
It just turns up after a sauna. I'll just do a wee podcast for the day. Meanwhile, Mark's in the background doing all the shite, all the maintenance.
Mark's actually in Iceland, so I'm dealing with the full business.
Okay. Phone's vibrating.
I just take it well, Nick. I just don't look stressed.
Brilliant, Kyle. All the best, mate.
Thanks a lot, mate,
guys.
for coming on.
Cheers.